Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayed Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's version, text 34. rthaṁ yat pratīyeta na pratīyeta cātmani tad vidyād ātmano māyāṁ yathābhāso yathā tamaḥ. Rte, without, arthaṁ, value, yat, that which, pratīyeta, appears to be, na, not, pratīyeta, appears to be, cha, and, ātmani, in relation to me, tat, that, vidyād, you must know, ātmano, my, māyāṁ, illusory energy, yathā, just as, ātmano, the reflection, yathā, as, tamaḥ, the darkness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O Brahmā, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Please repeat this translation after me. O Brahmā, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It's a very long purport, so I will not read it, we will discuss the purport directly. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now the 4 verses, this is the second verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavata. The 4 verses are essentially explaining the most important topic in all the scriptures, the absolute truth, ultimate reality or God. So, in the previous verse, it has been established that Krishna is the absolute truth. And in this verse, the actual features of the absolute truth are being described. So, Krishna's statement here is, whatever appears to be of any value, means anything that appears to be real. Something which is not real has no value. So, something has value means it is real. So, anything which is real, if it has no relation to Krishna, it has no reality. So, nothing can exist which is real and has no relation to Krishna. Know it as my illusory energy. Krishna has got different energies, of which one energy is called illusory energy. And this illusory energy is present in this material world as reflection which appears in darkness. Reflection which appears in darkness. Now, what is this reflection which appears in darkness? Illusory energy, all of you know. In this material world, there is something called illusory energy. Okay? So, that illusory energy, what is our experience of that illusory energy? That even though our body is simply made up of 5 elements, illusory energy makes us think or perceive or see. This body is not made up of earth, water, fire, air, sky. No. It is made up of flesh, blood, bones, skin. Is it not? Huh? So how is it that that which is actually made up of earth, water, fire, air and sky? Because we know what is earth, we know what is water, we know what is air, we know what is fire, we know what is space. We have clear understanding. Any confusion? Any doubt? What is earth? What is water? What is fire? What is air? What is ether? No. So how do you say this body is made up of earth, water, fire, air and sky? Where is earth here? The element earth. Where is water? We drink water. But does water remain as water in our body? No. It becomes blood, it becomes urine, it becomes some other secretion, some juice. So, water doesn't remain as water. Correct? So, water element, where is it? There is no water element. Then, fire. Of course, the Ayurveda describes, Ayurvedic science, that there is a fire of digestion in the stomach. Jataragni or Vaishwanara. But still, that's just a description. Actually, is there any fire? There is no fire. There is no fire. Okay. So then, air. We are breathing in air and breathing out some air, correct? But what is that air that we breathe in? Where is that air? Something, it gets transformed into something else, no? So it doesn't remain as air. So how can you say the body is made up of air? It contains air. You can say it is having some transformation of air, some transformation of water, yes. But fire, we are not intaking any fire. Earth, okay, we are eating solid food. That's a transformation of the earth, correct? Okay. So transformation of earth is there. But Shastra says, no. There is nothing other than earth, water, fire, air and sky or space in this body is made up of. That's the only thing that is there. Nothing else is there. So it is because of the illusory energy we see a difference between whatever is the body made up of and earth. We see difference. But actually Shastra says no difference. In terms of substance, no difference at all. So this is very difficult to understand. So all these things are explained in the scriptures. How do you understand that this body, whatever it is made up of, is the five elements? Of course, the five elements are present in a transformed way, but they are the elements only. By transformation, they are not changed. And what is the proof that this body, which is made up of flesh, blood, mucus, all those type of things, what are the proof that actually it is these five elements only which are present? Because when you burn this body, what remains? What happens to this body? It gets separated to the five elements only. Like this body in the present shape, it is occupying space, correct? If you burn it, that space is released, no? That space will not be there, no? Whatever water is there in the body, or transformation of water, when you burn the body, that water becomes water vapor and it is gone. Earth, whatever transformation of earth is there, ultimately what remains? Ashes. Ash is earth, directly it is earth. So, fire. Now, when the body is set on fire, okay, it's not just the fire, the fuel that burns. The body also burns. Body also burns. So fire is released. The fire element is released from this body, of which this body is made up of, when the body burns. Okay? Just like, to give a simple example, if you take an iron rod, or you take an iron tawa, okay? Ab iron tawa, you keep it on the fire, small fire, in your domestic kitchen. Will the iron tawa, iron itself, it's a transformation of earth. It is containing the fire element also. Okay? In the transformed state, it contains the fire element also. But when you use it as a tawa, the fire element is not at all released. The iron gets hot because of the fire you are placing it on, and that fire is transferred to whatever you want to cook. So iron is merely acting as an agent of that fire to be transferred. That's all. So iron remains as iron. Tawa, iron tawa remains as iron tawa only. Nothing happens. But the same iron tawa, you take it to a blast furnace. Put that. It will completely become ashes. Blast furnace, controlled way, you can mold that iron into something, or combine iron with carbon and make it steel, all that you can do. But if it is not controlled, blazing fire, whose temperature is more than the melting point of iron, finished. Raakh ho jayega. So fire can convert anything into ashes. Anything. So much so that this whole universe, at the end of the creation, what happens? The fire that comes out of the mouth of Sankarshana burns up this entire universe with all its planets and all the mountains, rivers, everything is burnt up completely. So, fire can burn anything, but depends on the temperature of that fire. Like you have experienced when you are ironing, if you keep it at a suitable temperature, आपका आयरन नहीं अच्छा होगा. थोड़ा ज़्यादा रख दिया, कपड़ा जला देगा वो. So this is the characteristic of fire element. Such a wonderful element, no? Controlled way, you can use it for so many purposes, right? Everywhere, Prabhupada says we use fire everywhere. In the kitchen, in the bathroom for heating water, in the factories for, whatever they want to, for producing bricks, for melting iron and combining it into with carbon into making steel, for molding cast iron articles, right? So fire is so very important and useful. But that fire is useful only at the right temperature. For everything there is a specific temperature fire is useful. Air. We cannot live without breathing air. Correct? But in place of air at a speed of some 1 meter per hour, very, very less speed, you'll feel no air, I'm feeling very suffocated. But the same air, little more, there's a gentle breeze, such a relief you get, very nice, right? So air at a particular speed of flowing, air means that which flows, okay, wind at the right speed is useful. When the speed increases too much, the same air or wind becomes cyclone. And they have in this meteorological department, depending on the speed at which some high speed wind is blowing, they give different names. This is from the US Navy, this classification. They call tornado, cyclone, what is it? Hurricane, so many names. What are these names? Basically is wind blowing at high speed and which is destructive. So the amount of destruction depends on how much speed it is. So for one project I was living in a state called Florida. In Florida, if you live on the coast, it's near the ocean. It's a coastal state. So in one of the cities, coastal cities I was living, Miami. Miami is on the coast. So sometimes there is this cyclone. Sometimes they say, oh, cyclone means huge damage. Sometimes just a hurricane, little damage. Tornado, little more damage than hurricane, but less than cyclone. So that place is prone to some kind of hurricane or this thing. So there they don't have so many, they have buildings, like regular buildings, but mostly they have what is called as mobile homes. Mobile homes. So if the meteorological department, if it gives a forecast of the weather, tomorrow there's going to be a hurricane, likely to be a hurricane. So these people who live in that mobile home, They got a car, okay, or a jeep, something like that. So they attach that, they remove the anchors from the home, disconnect the power, disconnect the water supply, disconnect the sewage, drainage, and then it's on wheels. So on that wheels, they will take it on the road and go to some far off place where it is away from the coast and wait till this hurricane is gone and then come back to this place. So this is their solution to this problem, because when there is no hurricane, when there is no storm, it's a very, very nice weather, very beautiful place. But when hurricane comes, if you live in a normal building, glass is broken, some object will come and hit your building itself. The building itself can get damaged. Cyclone, for example. Buildings can get completely damaged. So, to avoid that damage, they take the home and go away. This is how karmis misuse their intelligence. You see, it requires a lot of intelligence, no? To figure out, let's make a mobile home, let's make a provision for having that mobile home with connection of electricity, water and sewage connection. And then it should be just the size, it will be like a truck. That truck to which they attach big containers, no? Like that. It's that size only. In that they are nicely designed, bedroom, living room, everything. Very lot of intelligence has gone into designing this and planning this and marketing it and making it mobile. Okay. Instead of all that, what they are doing is, the human intelligence is more developed not for doing all these kind of developments and innovations for sense gratification. Because the aim of life is missing, intelligence is totally misused for sense gratification. And under the influence of illusion, a person thinks that my standard of living or my quality of living is better than the animals. Shastra says, whether you live in a mobile home which you can transport when there is bad weather and it is all safe and it is secure, or a bird is living in a nest, ordinary thing. Monkey is living on a tree even without any kind of house built. In a very elementary way, these creatures, they are living in whatever place they are supposed to live, in whatever kind of dwelling they are supposed to live. So they are also having a home. You are also having a home. You require a home. But you spend your entire intelligence for working and earning money to buy one home. And that home has to be manufactured by somebody who has to spend so much of effort, labor, organization, right? So you complicate your life simply for what? The necessity of having a dwelling place. All the animals, without any organization, without any developed intelligence, without any money, without any labor, they are having their dwelling places. Given by nature, through nature, given by God. So in the Himalayas, when some yogi or some rishis or some saintly persons go to live there and do their business of self-realization, where do they live? In caves. Caves are already made by God through nature. For what? For you to live there. And do what? You save time for self-realization. Prabhupada says how Himalayas are most suitable for saintly persons, that caves are there for living. Fresh water is there, purest water for drinking, for taking bath. Then in winter, you cannot take bath in the normal water. It is freezing cold. So there are hot water springs. Anybody has been to Yamunotri? Hai na? Hot water spring. Badrinath also. In fact, it is there everywhere in the Himalayas. Everywhere there are hot water springs. So already Krishna has provided, but we make so much arrangement now for heating water in summer. So much arrangements we make. Not required. It's already arranged. Then for eating, so much elaborate arrangements we have to make for eating. But there are plenty of fruits. Plenty of fruits. Before you reach Badrinath, there's a place called Joshimath. Correct? Am I correct? I have not gone. I have heard. This is all I am telling, for everything I am telling from hearing. Okay? So the Joshimath, there is one particular shrine you visit, but if you go into the forest, filled with lychee trees. And in the season, these lychee trees will give so much of lychee fruits. Nobody plucks the fruit. The local people, they don't pluck the fruit. What do? They gather the ripe, wonderful ripe fruits which have fallen there and just come and sell, take some money, and that's it. Earlier I heard that they would just gather this much and give you and say, whatever you give, that's all. They don't require money. Because they have got everything they require there only. They live like that. So, there is plenty of fruits. Now you may say, lychee is available only in season. But there are other fruit trees. In each season, there is a particular fruit tree which gives fruit. That's why there are something called seasonal fruits, isn't it? Seasonal vegetables. Right? Abhi hum bhul gaye, because some technology we are able to produce watermelon round the year. We are able to produce all these fruits round the year, some of these fruits. But that's not the way nature is giving. Giving particular fruits in particular season. Anyway, that's a very big subject. I don't want to get into that. So basically, everything is provided. All the needs of this body is completely provided. So that a yogi or a saintly person in Himalayas actually doesn't have to earn money, doesn't have to make any arrangements, nothing. So all the time he simply engages in his business of self-realization. So there is one purport in which one paragraph Prabhupada has said how Himalayas are so wonderful. What is special about Himalayas as compared to any other mountains? In Europe they have the famous Alps mountains. In some other place they have some other range of mountains. So many places on the earth there are so many range of mountains. But no place, everything is provided perfectly for a yogi or a devotee to simply, fully concentrate on self-realization and forget about worrying or bothering to provide the needs of the body. No other place other than the Himalayas. So my point is that human intelligence is developed not for, so-called civilized way of living. No, it's not meant for that. It's already there. All the needs are provided. So, under the influence of illusion, Prabhupada says, you wrongly think that when you are able to eat in a sophisticated way as compared to animals, you are more advanced than animals. Shastra says, as long as you are eating, your basic activity is eating, whether you do it in a sophisticated way or a simple way, you are only indulging in eating. That's the only activity you are doing. And that doesn't require intelligence. It doesn't require intelligence. Even the most foolish creature, it also eats and it is living, surviving. Correct? There's so many creatures which are not at all even 10% or 5% or 1% as intelligent as human beings. But they are also eating, no? They are also sleeping. They are also having a place to live. Defense. They also have facility for sex life. Correct? Everybody is having. So what is this human being doing when it's already provided? He is misusing his intelligence. He is misusing the resources of nature. Simply for what? Ultimately, Shastra analyzes. Everything people are doing, they are doing for one ultimate goal: sense enjoyment, sense pleasure. And that also under the influence of illusion. Sense pleasures are not real happiness we are seeking, that we cannot figure out. We cannot make out. Now, why I am telling all this is because here the reference is made Krishna's illusory energy. Illusory energy. ātmano māyāṁ. My illusory energy. ātmano māyāṁ. My illusory energy. Now, the most important point about this illusory energy is, of course, illusory energy is the influence because of which we wrongly think we are advanced when we are utilizing our intelligence or misusing our intelligence for the same four basic activities which animals without any intelligence, without any effort, without any so-called development are getting very, very easily. They have no difficulty. They have no scarcity. They don't have to work very hard. They don't have to work very hard. There is one creature called the python. Python, you would have heard this. It's one type of snake, serpent. So it just remains in one place. Remains in one place. Does not go anywhere. Does not do any work. It gets its food. Gets his food. So human beings think, oh, if I don't work, I cannot get my food. I cannot get my food. So Shastra points out in nature, so many examples are there. How other creatures, other than the human being, they are getting all their needs without any hard work, without any money, without any economic development, without having to use whatever little intelligence they have, they don't have to use it for that. So why are the human beings misusing their intelligence, misusing the resources, misusing this human form of body, because under illusion they are thinking our real happiness is through sense gratification. But human intelligence is also able to understand and realize and perceive that the real happiness that I am seeking, I am not getting through sense gratification. I am not getting through sense gratification. So, it is the influence of illusion that makes a person think sense gratification is the source for my real happiness. Similarly, here, the illusory energy is the cause of our thinking that something which is not the absolute truth, we are accepting as absolute truth. Reality. Something which is not real, we are accepting as a reality. That's exactly what the influence of the illusion is. Illusory energies. Illusion means you accept something that is not real as real. And illusion also makes you think something which is real as illusion. Just like Krishna's body, Krishna's form. Krishna's form, especially the Mayavadis, and in general other people also. Mayavadis, they see Krishna's form, what do they think? Because their theory is the absolute truth is formless, and Krishna is described as the absolute truth, so actually that body is not Krishna. That body is like we have the body, we are not the body. Correct? They say Krishna is also not the body, his body. Krishna is the spirit within. Like we say, no, you are the spirit within. Krishna is also the spirit within Krishna. So, for coming to this conclusion, they have got a whole lot of philosophy to back it. They have got the Vedic statements to back that. And they do a lot of tapasya to realize that. So-called realization, whatever they get. Whereas a common man sees Krishna, what do they think? Krishna is like me. Human being. Anybody who sees Krishna, they'll think he is a human being like me. That is also because of illusion. The Mayavadi, through philosophy, through austerity, through analysis, through studying the Vedas, come to this conclusion that Krishna's form is material. Is due to the illusion. And a common man also, because of illusion, only thinks Krishna's form is like my form. Krishna is an ordinary human being. So here it is said, my illusory energy is the reason why reflection appearing in darkness is thought of to be an actual source of light. It is just like, very simple example. If you are having a tall building, okay, and it is facing east, that building, one face of the building, one side of the building is facing east. So in the morning when the sun rises, then there will be a shadow of the building behind in the western side. Correct? Shadow of the building will be there when the sun rises. I mean, that shadow, supposing there is another building behind that, which is taller, it has got a glass window, and the reflection of the sun is falling in the area where there is the shadow. Okay? An intelligent person who knows the directions, who knows the sun is there in the east, and it's only the sun which is actually illuminating everything, will see this, that reflection of the sun giving out light, and even in the shadow there is bright light. In fact, it will even blind one's eyes, that reflection of the sun from that glass. Correct? Only a person under illusion or in ignorance will think actually it is the sun, which is because of which there is this bright light here in the reflection, in darkness or in reflection or in that shadow, sorry, not darkness, darkness or shadow. If there is light in the shadow, if it is coming from a reflection, then that is not the real source of light. That's not the real source of light. The real source of light is something else. So somebody in ignorance will think it is the sun in the west in the morning, which is the source of the light in that reflection or in darkness. So, under illusion, we try to find out the source of, let us say, something. So we find out so many different sources. But actually, the real source is only Krishna. The real source is Krishna. Except Krishna, a person, by using all his intelligence, his knowledge, his abilities, his skill, collective effort of so many intelligent persons, everything under illusion, they'll come to the conclusion that something or somebody other than Krishna is the source of whatever exists. Only one who is free from the influence of illusion can understand all these other sources are not the real source. Only outside of illusion. So, to come out of illusion is the first aim of one trying for self-realization, one trying to understand what is the truth, who is God, or what is the ultimate source of everything. To come out of illusion. To come out of illusion is not possible by any method or any process other than bhakti. Why? What does Bhagavad Gita say? Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya māmeva ye prapadyante māyāṁ tarantite. This illusory energy called Maya, Krishna says, it consists of 3 gunas. And the effect of the 3 gunas is such that it is very difficult to cross over Maya, to come out of Maya, come out of illusion by your different methods that you may figure out. But Krishna says, Duratyaya means you cannot get out of illusion or you cannot cross over Maya. by all your methods. But there is one method. Māyāṁ eva ye prapadyante. Eva means the only method. One who surrenders to me. Māyāṁ etam tarantite. They can cross over illusion. They can get out of illusion. They can become free from the influence of illusion. So, surrender to Krishna means what? Bhakti. In which process is there this possibility of surrender? Only bhakti. Only bhakti. So therefore, bhakti is the only way by which one can actually come out of illusion. But after coming out of illusion, that doesn't mean that you become fully enlightened. After coming out of illusion, you come to know there is something called illusory energy, because of which I was mistaking something which is not real for being real. Something which is not the source, I was thinking it is the source. But you come out of illusion, you come to know that what is real is not real, or what is the source is not the source. Then the question remains, what is the source? What is the source? Or where is reality? What is real? Everything in this world is not real. It is maya, it is illusion, or a product of illusion. All matter. So the Mayavadis know from the scriptures, matter is not real, matter is a product of illusion, yes. But they also come to know there's something called Brahman or spirit, which is real. I am that spirit. I am real as spirit. That they come to know with great difficulty. But after that, if they read or hear, Krishna is also spirit. Absolute truth is also spirit. You are also spirit. In that sense, you are equal or you are same as the absolute truth. Immediately they jump into the conclusion that I am the absolute truth, I am ultimate reality, I am God, or I am equal to God, or everyone is God, everyone is spirit, so everyone is God. All such faulty conclusions they come to. And that is also because of the same illusory energy. That is also because of the same illusory energy. So you cannot completely get out of illusion merely by the other processes which helps you to separate illusion from reality. Through all other processes, you can understand ultimately this world is made up of matter. Even our body is made up of matter. All the material objects are made of matter. All living entities, their body is matter. This matter is a product of illusion. So the matter is not real in that sense. So reality is something other than matter. And what is that something other than matter? If they think it is just something called spirit, but don't know what is that spirit, what is the nature of spirit, who is the controller of spirit, what are the attributes of spirit, nothing they are able to understand or know except through bhakti. Bhakti not only helps us understand matter is illusory, product of illusory energy called Maya, and spirit is real, and the nature of spirit is it is eternal. Spirit means personality. Spirit means the the quality same as God or absolute truth, but spirit is a very, very tiny part of that absolute truth. Absolute truth is unlimited. Spirit is unlimited person, is ultimate controller, ultimate source. That full understanding of spirit and its characteristics and its varieties and its attributes can only be understood by bhakti, and that also practice of bhakti under the guidance of a pure devotee. Even bhakti, somebody does not practice under a pure devotee, at the most they can understand what is illusion and that the absolute truth is not illusion. That's all. They can't go further. To go further, you require to practice bhakti under the guidance of a pure devotee who is realized Krishna. So, pure devotional service will only help us make progress in bhakti. Otherwise, if somebody practices bhakti without guidance of a pure devotee or without direct guidance of Krishna, the personality of Godhead, they can never progress in bhakti. They will be able to reach the stage of bhakti where they can understand what is illusion, matter is not real, matter is what this material world is made of, something other than matter is actually the truth. All that they can understand, they can realize, but they cannot make any further progress. They get stuck up. So therefore, here Krishna is going to explain that the nature of illusion, illusory energy is, you are mistaking something which is not real for being real, and you also mistake illusion itself, one product of illusion itself, to be reality. So both are actually illusory only, effect of illusion only. The realization of the Mayavadis that ultimately God is formless is also an effect of illusion. And this illusion can be completely removed only by bhakti and not by any other process. Some other process may help you to come out of illusion partially. And that partially coming out of illusion is what? Understanding matter to be illusion, a product of illusion. But not being able to ascertain what is spirit, or what is that reality other than matter, or what are its characteristics, what is its source, nothing can be understood, nothing can be realized by other processes. Only bhakti. But even in bhakti, the limitation is, if you are not under the guidance, under the expert guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, a pure devotee, then you can never progress in bhakti beyond understanding what is illusion. Beyond that, you cannot progress in bhakti. So therefore, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. If you want to know that in truth who is Krishna, or what is the absolute truth, or the ultimate realization of the absolute truth, only way is bhakti. And that bhakti also, you have to practice under a bona fide spiritual master. Where is that said? Bhakti is to be practiced under a bona fide spiritual master. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Right in the second chapter, Krishna has introduced this point of tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi means those who are actually realize the absolute truth perfectly. So that absolute truth in the Bhagavatam directly it is described is understood in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is the highest realization, complete realization. The other two are partial realization. So all other processes will help you to partially realize Brahman, the absolute truth. Only bhakti can help you realize the complete absolute truth as the personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu or Narayana. And only through bhakti you can know Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. And that bhakti also has to be practiced under a spiritual master who is a tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi. That means who has realized the truth completely. Tattva means the ultimate truth, absolute truth. So complete realization, not partial realization. Of the absolute truth is this realization of the personality of God. So like this, everything that is given in the Bhagavad Gita in just in a very short way, just the principles. In the Bhagavatam, through describing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, through describing the activities of the pure devotees, through so many examples, explanations of different saintly persons, through so many questions and answers, Bhagavatam completely, thoroughly, very nicely describes the absolute truth. Helps us understand the absolute truth. Helps us to practice the process of bhakti perfectly. Tells us what is that practice accurately. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishno, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So the way to practice bhakti perfectly is to practice bhakti according to these 9 different processes. Now, the same thing in Bhagavatam very precisely, very accurately it is described and elaborately. But where in Bhagavad Gita is this 9 types of bhakti described? It is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Somebody will say, no, it's not there in the Bhagavad Gita. It is there in the Bhagavad Gita. No. This process, Shravanam, Kirtanam, indirectly it is told. Satantab kirtayanto maam yatantascha dridavlata. Ananyas chintayanto maam ye jana paripas. Like that. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. All this actually describes the process of bhakti. So like that, we have to study the Bhagavad Gita and then progress to studying Bhagavatam, which will ultimately give you the complete, perfect, detailed, elaborate understanding of the Absolute. Okay? So I'll stop here. Any questions? One by one. That is, without guidance of a, I said, without guidance of a pure devotee spiritual master. Like you are having a person who is actually knows bhakti and he can even guide you. Okay? Because he has received from the proper source. He knows what is bhakti and he can guide you. But he is not a pure devotee. What is the... This is the same question that is being raised now in the opposite camp. What is it? need not be a pure devotee. Guru need not be a pure devotee. Then what happens if your Guru is not a pure devotee? To your practice of bhakti. Practice of bhakti is not wrong because your Guru knows what is actually bhakti. He's been trained by a pure devotee. He is also practicing according to the instruction of pure devotee. Correct? But he is not a pure devotee yet. He is on the path, becoming a pure devotee. But he is not a pure devotee yet. So can you practice under him? And become fully self-realized? No.
Like if you take the shelter of the Kanishta Adhikari, you are reached to that level. So Kanishta Adhikari also knows he is Supreme Lord, I am Partnerperson of the Lord, that much he also knows. So
That's exactly what I said. No, there's a limitation how much you can progress.
two things aspect, you can understand you are not body, but there is no description of the Lord. Because unless Lord comes in picture, it never becomes devotion, devotional service. So we know two things, it is not devotional service, it is not bhakti, that is some other path.
No. I said that bhakti can be practiced under somebody who is not a pure devotee, and still you can make progress up to the point of understanding only that illusory energy is what is working here. The effect of illusion is we are thinking matter is real, etc., all that. But to realize, of course, we can theoretically know Krishna is the absolute truth, even without a pure devotee spiritual master, because that's what the other, those who are not pure devotees but are practicing bhakti properly, they can tell Krishna is the absolute truth. And it's directly there in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam also. But to realize Krishna is the absolute truth, not possible. You don't get Krishna. You don't attain Krishna. You want Krishna? Only one source. Either Krishna or his actual representative, the bona fide spiritual master. So that's why in the 18th chapter Prabhupada says, there is no difference between hearing directly Krishna, like Arjuna heard, or hearing from a representative of Krishna who is as good as Krishna. Like Sanjaya, he says to Dhritarashtra in the end, I was able to hear that wonderful dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna by the mercy of my spiritual master Vyasadeva, Vyasaprasada Shrutavan. Now Prabhupada says Sanjaya is hearing through Vyasa. He is not directly hearing Krishna. Arjuna directly heard Krishna. But Prabhupada says Sanjaya is also able to directly hear Krishna through Vyasadeva. Through Vyasadeva. So similarly, we can realize Krishna or attain Krishna either directly by getting guidance from Krishna, like Arjuna got, or by getting the guidance of a pure devotee spiritual master, who is as good as Krishna. That's why that Sakshadharitvena samasta shastrair.
I heard somewhere without pure devotee, you cannot get Krishna directly.
Correct.
I never found any instance where Arjuna also must have got some impetus from someone. So directly, I never heard anyone got Krishna directly without pure devotee.
Correct.
Directly,
No access to Krishna. There is no direct access. Krishna says, he who says is my devotee is not my devotee. What does it mean? Devotee of my devotee is my devotee. What does it mean? To know Krishna, you can't directly approach him. That's the meaning of that. Any more questions? Yes. Fully enlightened means what? There are different aspects of enlightenment by which somebody may say, I am fully enlightened. If you say that somebody who has realized the absolute truth as Brahman is realized the absolute truth is fully enlightened, he realizes the absolute truth. But then Bhagavatam points out there are three aspects of the absolute truth. So if you realize Brahman, he is not fully enlightened, because he doesn't know Paramatma and Bhagavan. If he realizes Paramatma, he knows Brahman and Paramatma, but doesn't know Bhagavan. If he realizes Bhagavan, he knows all the aspects of the absolute, fully enlightened, fully realized. So that distinction is clearly made in the Bhagavad Gita also, it is made, and Bhagavatam, but Bhagavatam it is direct.
My question is that he fully realized है ऐसा सो उसका क्या जो subject to the threefold disease है उसके अधीन आ जाता है, उसका प्रभाव नहीं पड़ता. ऐसे एग्जाम्पल भागवतम में जैसे राजा सिंह वो ज्ञान के लिए आया था, अपना शरीर को ही काट के दिया, तो he was not feeling that pain. It means his spirit is
Not feeling the pain means somebody who has realized I am not the body. जैसे आप वस्त्र पहने हैं, you may have a child, small child, which is also wearing a dress. Something happens to your dress, then you are mature enough to understand nothing has happened to me if my dress is torn. Okay? The child cannot understand that. If a dress is torn, something has happened to me, he starts crying. His toy is broken, he starts crying. Something has happened to me. Exactly like that, one who realizes not the body, the source of the pain is the body only, it cannot be the soul. Correct? Soul is unaffected by disease or by injury or by accident, anything. Correct? So he not only he knows theoretically, but he also realized I am spirit soul. So he does not experience any pain at all. Does it mean that he does not know there is pain? For somebody will say, if I have anesthesia, I can also, be in a state where I don't feel pain. When the actual surgery is happening, so much cutting is happening, so much blood is coming out, person is not feeling any pain. Anesthesia wahi hai na? So is self-realization like anesthesia? Another type of anesthesia? No. Because he is aware of the pain, but he is not feeling the pain. Feeling the pain means it's not an inconvenience for him. It's not a source of suffering for him.
But another example, Pratīyeta तपस्या करके आए थे, तो उन्होंने निकला जंगल दिखा, फिर अपने मुंह से आग निकाल के जलाना शुरू कर दिया. We also heard Gita from Lord Shiva actually.
Okay.
तपस्या करते हैं फल में से. It means those who have realized they get some different power. That's what I'm asking. They are different from normal.
Yeah, powers. Somebody may have Ashtasiddhi, all the siddhis in this material world. But Krishna is the source of all siddhis. One thing, Krishna has unlimited siddhis. And a devotee like Narada, by the grace of Krishna, his siddhi is not limited to Ashtasiddhis. He can do anything which the Lord does. He can use any siddhi which the Lord has. That is pure devotee. So pure devotee also has all the Ashtasiddhis like a yogi. But no, if Krishna wants, pure devotee will always use siddhi if directed by Krishna. Every moment is directed by Krishna. Krishna wants, he will use. Krishna doesn't want, he will not use. You don't see Narada Muni using that siddhi everywhere. Very rare instances. That Chitraketu, he used siddhi to bring back that child to life and his son, former son, to life, and the child started speaking. That is because Narada Muni used a siddhi. But somewhere else he will not use a siddhi. Many places he does not use a siddhi.
Second
Yeah. So,
I mean, why God they make such arrangement actually?
to fulfill the desires of these people, want to live very comfortably without having to build and, even if you make all arrangements on this earth for living like the demigods, using your intelligence and your resources, but it's never like that, no. It's not, it's, huh?
They should also follow the same philosophy. They should also maintain the simplicity actually. By being God,
That's exactly the reason why a really spiritually advanced person doesn't desire to go to the heavenly planets. That's exactly the reason. Who are these people who are wanting to go to heavenly planets because there is better facility? Those who have no understanding of what is spirit, who am I, what is the goal of life, they have no understanding. They are like the materialists who want to remain on the earth with all nice facilities, the same.
but why those kind of stories have been given in Bhagavatam? Not our, I mean, just for the, I mean,
For helping us understand, yeah, it's helping us understand. Just because somebody has done a lot of pious activities because of which they are promoted to heaven, they are not spiritually more advanced. They are not spiritually more advanced. They are also subject to the illusion like we are subject to illusion. Okay? And all their pious credits is useless for avoiding the illusory influence. They cannot. So many examples. Indra, when he killed Vritrasura, Brahmā, very, very, very dangerous. So he had to escape to avoid that sinful reaction.
even after knowing Lord Brahmā, Indra is a god actually, and giving back all the appearances and stuff. And he did not surrender fully. Actually, he should have surrendered.
Why demigods who are not fully surrendered are not fully surrendered? Not because they don't know Krishna is the supreme absolute truth or Vishnu is the supreme Lord. They know that. But they still have desire for enjoying. That's why they call Sakama Bhakta. A pure devotee is called Nishkama Bhakta. A pure devotee has no desire of any kind for any enjoyment in this world.
Unless they surrender to any pure devotee, they cannot become pure devotee.
Yeah, that is true.
They are devotees unless
No, surrender means what? No. Surrender means you understand that I want Krishna and nothing else. My goal becomes I want Krishna. Like Krishna is willing to give you everything except himself. So somebody who is not a devotee will be satisfied. If I get whatever I want from Krishna, if I can get, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. But pure devotees say, I don't even want liberation, I want you, Krishna. I don't want any of the material facilities. I don't want any power, material power. I don't even want liberation. I want, because I want you.
that independence never comes unless you surrender to pure devotee.
No. That knowledge itself is not there, no. That goal itself cannot be there, no. Who will tell you this goal? No. It's confidential. It is revealed only by a pure devotee.
Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says,
What?
clearly, Sarvadharmana Parityaja Māmekam Sharanam Pratyaya.
Huh.
He says, I am source of everything, surrender to me.
Huh.
So knowledge is there,
But who is telling you all this? Explaining this properly?
knowledge is there.
Only pure devotee. And even if a pure devotee is explaining, everybody is not taking his explanation as the goal is Krishna, attaining Krishna. That is not what they are coming to. They are reading Prabhupada's Gita because they have other desires. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kame, mama janmani janmanishware. I don't want all those material things. I don't even want liberation. But at this something else I ask. Bhavatad bhakti rahetuki tvai. So rahetuki bhakti is I want Krishna.
We also have that knowledge, we know, but unless we please fully pure devotee, that impetus will not start coming to our heart. Because knowledge, everyone have an impetus, will get purified, that pure devotees please.
Surrender to the pure devotee. Follow.
Krishna said to Maharaj, Krishna.
Unconditionally follow pure devotee. That is it.
फॉलो मीन्स तपस्या को करना पड़ेगा तो
तपस्या चाहिए.
जो बॉडी नीड्स है उसको सप्रेस करना है
सप्रेस नहीं करना है. Bodily needs को you have to fulfill the way pure devotee has taught us how to fulfill. Just like Prabhupada doesn't say don't eat. Prabhupada says eat only prasadam. So unlike the other yogis, we don't cut down eating to become nil. No, we never do that. Even the Goswamis, their requirement was very little. But that requirement they will always give to the body. They can live without even eating, but they will never do that. To teach us that you should not simply cut down eating and make eating zero. No. Rather, you should eat only prasadam. And eating prasadam is not just for maintaining the body. More importantly, eating prasadam is for developing bhakti. For advancement in Krishna consciousness, eat prasadam. So that angle is not there in Ashtanga Yoga, in other yogas. No, it's not there. They think eating means only for the sake of material demands of the body. That's all. Maintaining the body. They don't know what is eating, which is actually going to make us advance spiritually, make us self-realized simply by eating. Proper one place there. Simply by eating prasadam, you can become fully Krishna conscious. That's a fact. So that's why satisfying the demands of the body, not by reducing, making it zero. No. That is the other process. Bhakti is always satisfying demands of body according to the way we are taught in the process of bhakti. क्यों नहीं? Why not? Why not? Krishna has already come as the holy name. Okay? Those who realize the holy name is not different from Krishna, they are actually साक्षात भगवान को ही देख रहे हैं ना. हाँ. Okay, any other question? Prabhupada. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay? Stop. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.